got distracted by the dogs.
I was about to say. I actually thought today would be quieter because everyone's at work.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
And of course, all the dogs in the neighborhood are going mad today. So painful. I cleaned on Sunday evening, bro. I came here, I cleaned the leaves. 3 bags, black bags of leaves.
Yeah.
There's a little leaves in that tree. I cleaned inside, I moved the crop, I swept or whatever. Monday evening, the stuff's blown in that back door, blown in this door.
Oh, that's terrible. We also had a thing the other day. It was so terrible. I was, so I don't know if I'll ever feature it. I might. We've got a candle company.
Yes.
And that's something we're actually going to talk about today, actually, funny enough.
Yeah,
We're talking about the indoor thing. So anyway, there's this process of sanding it, and I do it on this one part of our stoop where I've got like a belt sander, put it on a table, and I'm sanding it, but obviously it makes a lot of dust.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And if I leave the door open, it just
covers.
It blows directly from where I am 5 meters that way and goes into the door.
Yeah.
It's like nowhere else.
Yeah,
it goes directly. It finds the
it's
door.
like baby powder.
Yeah.
Baby powder. All your doors can be closed, yet you'll find it in the lounge.
No, it's terrible, bro. I don't know. Anyway, so today we are going to talk a little bit about business and the businesses that like what we do.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Our views, our opinions, our Christian business.
Being ethical.
Yeah.
Being just having integrity in business and stuff like that. I think if you have, maybe let me start.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
So
it's another. Well, let me just say this. It's another one of the conversations we had in the bucky on the way to a hunt.
Yes. Yeah. So one of the things that I don't know, just call me lazy. I don't know. I don't think I'm lazy. I wake up at 6 and I go hike or go gym.
Yeah, that's not lazy.
And I work, and if I go hunt, I hunt like 30 kilometers in a day.
Yeah.
When I
wake up at 3, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Like 4 o'clock in the morning to go hunt. I go to sleep at like 12.
Yeah.
And I work sometimes, make candles up until 10, 12 at night. So I've even, when we get big orders, worked right through the night, basically until 4, wake up at 7, carry on working. So now that I've justified that I am not lazy.
You have to justify that.
Yeah.
I'm not lazy either. I'm at work at almost 6 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, and you deal with kids, bro. That's like 10 times worse. No, kids are awesome. Just saying.
You better say that, seeing as you're about to have one.
Yeah. So anyway, so what I was trying to say is that I don't dig this whole 9 to 5 thing. It just, I don't know, it's just, I don't feel motivated to do it. There's oftentimes like, I don't mind working like 6 to 10, like 6 in the morning till 10 in the evening, if it's something that I'm like invested in, you know, like that's really awesome.
Yes.
So I just, like, because that's the type of person I am, I naturally tend to go towards making my own income, like just start a company, start a brand, start something, whatever, and just take it from there, you know. And I think after I got my honors degree in ministry, because I love Jesus.
Yep. We both do.
Yeah.
We have the same degree.
The same degree, yeah. So after I did that, I just decided, well, listen, at that time the church couldn't really employ me, and we were planning to get married and stuff like that, and I was just like, let's just start something, you know. So a friend of mine and I started a flooring company where we just basically took a product that was already there, and we repackaged it. It was a very high, it's a flooring kit that you cover 25 square meters with, or a single garage. And you guys can still go check them out. Rock solid garage floors, or rock solid floors, and we basically just took the labor charge out of it. So where you would have the same floor for maybe 400 rand a square meter, or 300 rand a square meter. Now you can do it yourself for 150 rand a square meter. You know,
whatever
it's a lot cheaper. It's literally less than half the price if you just do it yourself. And it was very basic instructions. You follow the instructions, you do the floor, and it's lekker. And that did phenomenally well. And then we someone actually bought my shares out of the company.
Yes. No.
I sold the shares, and then in 2018, 2019, end of 2019, I had the idea of just starting a candle company. Yeah, well, it's not that I started a candle company. We were chilling in Durban, and I googled like fun hobbies, and number 18 was candle making.
So you went, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that looks like fun. So I started, but instead of just buying the 1 kilogram wax starter kit and stuff, I bought like 25 kilograms of wax and like 30 containers.
Everyone is doing it. Yeah, we're like, let's do it this way.
Yeah, like if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I went. And the idea was, they were good gifts for Amy because she likes candles.
Yes.
It kept me busy because I enjoyed making them.
Yeah.
And they were cost effective when I wanted to give someone else gifts and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And then I had this thought of maybe trying to sell it, and we started a Facebook page, and we called it Earth Candles and everything, and it picked up, and it was okay. Yeah, it was. I mean, I wasn't really giving it much attention. I was more just messing around myself, and at some point we ended up making. We bought molds, and we bought our own containers and everything, and then it just picked up.
Yeah.
And we started a Shopify. And now we're a nationwide shipping candle company.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we send all over the country. We've got repeat customers. We're selling in stores. We're selling, we're refilling for people. Yeah. It's like insane how it's picked up like that. And it's so funny. Another thing, that this is not a business that I'm doing yet. But I'm kind of like being pushed into doing it as a business. Because we go hunt quite often. I like having biltong around the house.
Yeah.
And so we went to go have a braai at my neighbour's house a while ago, and took some biltong across. It was lekker and stuff, and then he saw how nice it's vacuum sealed and everything, and he asked if I could maybe sell him some for his clients. Yes. So I was like, yeah, I mean, sure, if you want to cover the cost, I'm not going to fight you. So he bought some from me, and then some other people that they know in our estate found out that I bought biltong from them. Yeah. And it has gone to such an extent now that this morning, driving out of our gates, the security stopped me and said, "Hey, I hear you selling biltong."
No way.
So I'm like, oh, that's
and it actually works out well because it means we have to hunt more.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm not
hunt more to put the meat in the fridge so we can make biltong. You can make biltong.
I'm not violently opposed. So I'm definitely keen. But it's like a business idea that I never thought of even doing. Yeah. But it seems now like, okay, cool. Here's some people. And the thing with like business that I really like, if you have a good product, like you're sorted. Yeah. Like good product, you just need to find
good service.
Yeah. Then you're sorted. Like if you provide something to someone that they enjoy, like just give them their money worth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll always come back to you and stuff like that. And the thing, what we saw with the floor is that you buy the floor kit, you do a floor, and your floor is done.
Yes.
Like that's the thing. With candles, I mean, you burn a candle. And
exactly.
It needs to be refilled. It's a consumable.
Yeah. Someone once told me, if you want to get into business, get into stuff that, not that they should build on candles on that, but get something that people need.
Yeah.
Don't get something that people just want, because 100%. When times change, and we've experienced this now with COVID, if you're in a business someone wants, you can lose your business quickly because people aren't going on holiday. Yeah. I know. I mean, we look at the tourism industry; it's a mess, because of COVID. But the guys who are selling milk and bread,
like
the growers, I was going to say, Spa, those guys are coining it because not because there's more money, not because there's more opportunities, but because there's a need that's there.
Yeah. I remember, someone still said to us once that, like during a recession, it's a bad time to have a restaurant. Just rather have a wholesale store. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This person as well said to me, if you can't get into those two, you can't get into a need or whatever, find something that runs out. Yeah. Something that's renewable almost. Something that runs out that they need more. So for instance, you burn the candle.
Yeah. And then they need to refill it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we constantly refill people's candles and constantly producing. And the nice thing is that because people see it as like cost effective gifts, I mean, if I go give someone 100 Rand in an envelope for a birthday, it's kind of like What are you going to do with $100?
Well,
You know?
put it this way. Put it this way. For my side, one of the things I do, which we'll get to just now, but one of my clients pays me every time they have a lesson, the drum lessons, which is great for them. It's great. It works out well. They're learning. They're an adult and he's learning, so it's not like he's set into this kind of thing. So he wants to see is it going to work out kind of thing. So, which is great. Yeah. But it gives me that. It's actually on a Tuesday he has his lesson, and it gives me the $100. That's supper, or that's stop at Spa for a snack, or that $100 is gone. It doesn't go to anything sustainable. It doesn't go to paying bills or anything like that. You know what I mean? But that's for like a service. So like if so you're what I'm saying is your $100 is what are you getting? What are you doing with $100? There's not much you can do with $100.
Yeah. But if you go and you buy a little candle,
exactly as I say,
you give it to someone, it's like wow, this is like a handmade,
it's
personalized gift that you give someone. It's almost 100%. Worth. Like if you have to equate it, like if you had to give someone an envelope of like $400, then it would be the same as giving them a box with their name on. Then you open it and there's this beautiful little candle,
The personal connection value to it is
so much more.
So much more.
Exactly. So anyway, so we've got a whole bunch of people that have twigged onto the idea of gifts and stuff. And there's one lady in particular who loves to buy candles from us. Every time, I think she bought from us like 4 times before she actually bought for herself.
Yeah. She's buying for other people.
And every time we are like, I thought eventually I was like, damn, like when are you going to buy for something for yourself? And we actually just gave her a candle. We were like, we love the whole thing of her giving gifts and stuff. And we as a company want to give her a gift as well, whatever. And it was like, and literally we didn't do it for social marketing or anything like that. Although we did get.
It works out well.
Insane traction because they made a post about it and their family and their friends saw, wow, this is such a nice thing and whatever. But like I feel like giving back, not chasing money. Because if you 100%. Chase the money, you lose sight of the product and the client or whatever. You need to have a product that pleases a client.
If you're watching the bottom line the whole time and you're not watching the product, the clients and what their needs are and what they're wanting from you guys. You lose focus there because you're watching that bottom line. I'm not selling enough, or you know what I mean. It's costing me too much. And in turn, because you're focusing on there, you're gonna completely lose sight of this, and then you end up with nothing.
And the thing is, if you make customers like a happy customer is a returning customer.
100%.
So we enjoy that, and maybe selling meat and stuff as well. Amy, my wife, she's got a wedding videography company.
Brilliant.
She also there's no 9 to 5, but she's not lazy. She's
I was gonna say there's no 9 to 5, but you must work harder. You work longer.
Some of those days
longer, not harder. For those who do work 9 to 5s and are working hard, we're not taking just a disclaimer. We're not taking away from anyone who does work 9 to 5.
Like if you work 9 to 5, that's awesome.
That works for you. Like I know someone else who he just wants to do 9 to 5. That's what he wants to. Want to go to work on Monday, finish on Friday afternoon. Work his days, and then weekend is off and. Eventually, I know this guy. He's almost in retirement. He's obviously a bit older than us. Almost in retirement, and life's great. He's worked for the same company his whole life. He wanted that.
He wanted that stability.
That's the word. Commitment. I was want to say, but that stability. And that's great. If you into that, that's 100% fine.
And I think that's really like positive. I think it's good to have stability. I just find my stability in other things versus like with my job. So I prefer to be a little bit more, dip my foot into the sea of chaos when it comes to making your own thing. Because here's the thing also, like if you work for yourself, there's some weeks that I hardly get sleep because it's like you work so hard. And then there's other weeks where it's like nothing. And then you like sit there and think like, what's going to go now, whatever. You have to pay your own salary. And But I prefer that so much because I have the freedom to on Monday morning take Amy out for breakfast somewhere. And or I can if I have to go on a holiday trip, or if there's a hunting trip that's during the week, like it doesn't matter. I work for myself, and that freedom is worth it for me because it's just it works. And also I want to encourage like the people, like if you're listening and you have a 9 to 5, but you want to get out of it, just start something small. Start something that's like effortless that you love doing, like. I know a guy here in PE who makes knives, and that is like, I'm not 100% sure if it's
the same guy that you know, that I know.
Jay?
No, it's not the same guy. I know another guy who does as well.
And it's just like, it's the quality of the stuff that he produces you can. It's like world class. It's absolutely
it's something I actually wish I could do.
Yeah.
Because I love knives. I have a pocket knife collection, and I'm always adding to it. And I would love to be able to, but I would. Yeah. I don't know how.
And I mean, these things, you can literally pick up a hobby.
Yeah.
Like if you don't already have a hobby, try and pick a hobby that can make you some money, stuff like that. Like even with hunting, I've said to myself, I don't eat. I'll eat beef, but I won't go
you
buy.
Don't eat? I eat.
Yeah, I won't go. If I eat lamb, I'll buy it directly from a farmer, and I'll buy the whole lamb as a thing, and we'll cut it up and chop it and whatever. I won't go to Woolies and go buy a fillet steak or something like that. So my meat bill every month is about 1,500 to 2,000 rand a month, which is it's a bit excessive, but I gave myself that 2,000 rand a month for meat every month, which equates to 24,000 rand a year. That's my hunting bill.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I can go
split up over your hunts, and then there you go.
So I save, and that's my hunting bill every year. And to be really honest, I have never reached past like 16,000 rand.
Yeah.
You
get
involved.
Hunting is a lot. I think. I mean, and not only if you're shooting big animals that are producing a lot of meat. You have all the bears or anything like that. Yeah. But I think if you actively do it, there's a lot of meat. Yeah. And if you take the meat properly, you don't just drop it off for someone. I mean, you're the guy that does yours is brilliant. Yeah. You can get a lot of it out of it. It's a lot of meat. So you're not where you go and buy the mince or whatever. You're getting a little bit for a huge sum of money. Yeah. Almost the rand per kg is ridiculous. It's not the same with hunting. What we pay, even with having the meat worked, is way less.
I normally just to put it into perspective, I normally take a hunting trip, and I take the costs of me. The accommodation. Yeah. I take the costs of all the extra snacks and all the extra things that I bought for that trip, diesel. I take the cost of shooting the animal, like what the farmer charge.
Oh, okay.
The ammo I don't really even. That's like negligible. That's like 25 rand or 30 rand. So I take that, and then I take the processing costs from the guy who normally does my meat. And I divide that by the amount of kilograms of meat that I get at the end of the day.
Correct.
And it normally works out anything between 80 to 100 rand a kilo.
Exactly.
Which is...
Well, what do I mean exactly?
So basically I just bought meat for let's call it 100 rand a kilo. Yeah. I bought a whole bunch of meat for 100 rand a kilo. And in that includes a weekend away, my accommodation is paid, my diesel is paid, my snacks and my food is paid.
Exactly.
Everything is paid.
Exactly.
And I just bought meat.
And if you take, let's say you took that hunting trip and you made biltong out of it, right? You're paying 100 rand a kg for your biltong.
Yes.
Whereas in the shops we're paying 445 rand per kg or 389 rand a kg, which is huge. And you're getting a little bit like this.
And then I go, so I make droewors, and I sell it to my neighbor and to
the security guards
and whoever for 180 rand a kilo or 200 rand a kilo, which is literally half price. And it's top quality. So it's 200 rand a kilo that I'm selling. So I'm making money. So essentially, if I just I can do some sums and make some planning and provisions and stuff like that, and I can almost hunt for free.
100%.
And get a freezer full of meat. So it's like I think this podcast originally started out with like a business idea, but it's more going towards like being sustainable and.
But not only that, but it is business. That I think if we don't work it out. So for example, what I do, so I do a few things. I run a remedial centre, so special needs education. So it's not profitable. That makes sense. It's education. It's not a product we're selling; it's a service we're giving. And there's a huge need, but there's also a huge restriction on it. You can't have 500 students. You know what I mean? You can't give them it's ridiculous. So we have a set number that
give them the attention
exactly.
that they need.
You have to employ people, and they don't get the same region and so on. So which is a whole other ballgame. But we have a set number we can have, and we do those. Then I also teach drums as well, which it's a service from 20 years of playing drums. It's a service that I can provide. So I'm almost clean profit there because I'm blessed where I teach at the church that don't require rental or anything from me. So the drums are there, everything's there. Obviously, I will pay for any damage kind of thing that are done, but the drums don't break that easily. Drumsticks break, and that's the students'
They're
cost,
meant to be beat.
Exactly, it's a service again, But I mean, over the years, I've done also things. I used to make leather shoes, like flip flops kind of thing, or watch straps and bracelets and whatever they call those things. All those sort of things. And it was the same thing. I would buy a pelt for $150 and make. I mean, out of a pair of shoes, one pair or two pairs of shoes, I've made that 150 rand already.
Yeah.
You know. And I think that's what we say it's business, but we're talking about sustainability. I think that's the whole point.
Yeah.
You have to understand how those simpler things. I'm not running a multi-million rand company at all. Yeah. You know, I'm also a youth pastor or a pastor. You know, I'm not. There's no money to be made in that. Yeah. But I've always got a little. I mean, one of the things I did. I'm talking about presents and gifts. One of the things I did is a couple of years ago. I decided I'm not buying Christmas presents. Okay. Super expensive. Yeah. We're a big family. Super expensive. And what happens to that stuff most of the time? It goes into a company. It's difficult to you can personalize, but it's very difficult to personalize. You know, like. You know, I go, so let's say the men in my family go buy them all pocket knives. Well, some of them got pocket knives. We've got better ones. Or they don't use that. They don't have a collection like I do, so they're not putting it into, you know. Yes. So I started making gifts.
To buy like a honey badger knife is not cheap.
No, and you're going to do that for 4 guys in your family. You know, it's a bit expensive.
It's like month's rent.
It literally, and I mean, you haven't done anything. You haven't wrapped it. You haven't done anything else for the Christmas presents. So I am blessed, on side note, that my dad is very good at woodworking and maintenance and those kind of things, and I work with him and on the weekends and all that type of stuff, and obviously as kids I learned a lot, so I'm able to make things with my hands. I make bath shelves or crosses or whatever, and again, same thing, I started making it for my sister wanted one, so I made her one for her birthday. She posted it, someone else wanted one, and I ended up making quite a few, but I went and added sustainably. I didn't go out and buy wood. I went with pellet wood. And I didn't go. You can buy pellet wood, but I put it out there. Anybody who's got pellets that I want or whatever the story is, or where can I pick it up, kind of thing. It was work for me. Yeah. And that's the key, I think.
Just with a little bit of effort. Yeah.
Exactly. And I know in the Bible, I think it's in Philippians 2. I think it is. It says, if a man doesn't work, he won't eat. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And we know in the beginning in Genesis, after the sin and the fall and whatnot, God said, by the sweat of your brow, you will eat. You know. Yeah. I think that's the thing. I think a lot of younger people don't want to put the effort in. They don't want it to be sustainable. They don't want to go, you know what, I'm going to take pellet wood, which takes a lot of work because I've got to strip the pellet. Okay, so maybe I can get them stripped already. I've got to, plane that wood, sand that wood, varnish it. That was my biggest frustration. I love putting it all together. I love it. I hate sanding. I hate it. When we do also things, so to make it as fast as possible kind of thing. And I kind of go rustic on some, and then somebody else will want a nice one that's not rustic. It's a lot of effort, you know. Sanding individual planks, and you're not sanding a table that's this big, so it's a quick 20-minute job. You're sanding the planks that make the table, you know.
But that's for me. It reminds me of that. You know, some people are so poor, all they have is money. Yeah. And I think that's something that we sell ourselves short. Like we've got effort, we've got knowledge, we've got there's so many things that we could sometimes have at our experience. Like we have this capability to make something, and so instead of paying for it in money, you can pay for it in effort.
Absolutely.
You know? And I would way rather. There's some of the things like I would 10 out, like let's say hunting. I would 10 out of 10. A million out of a million.
I was going to say a million out of 10.
Yeah, a million out of 10. I would go and take the effort of doing load development on my rifle, or getting a bow, or getting something, going out and finding a place where it's sustainable 100%. Hunting. You go hunt the animal yourself and you put the effort in, whatever. You get it for much cheaper, but you get such an awesome experience. And that's what we spoke about last week, about those campfire stories. Yeah. And because...
Which, by the way, is going to be a new segment for us, I think.
Yes.
About campfire stories, where we'll get you guys to write in as well, or maybe we'll feature someone can send us a video in as well, which we can put into the campfire stories.
Absolutely, We'll get guests and we'll talk about stuff like... Because there's the richness of the experiences, that people have is so awesome, and I love sharing it. And when you put in effort into something, when you pay in effort, you get a story.
Correct.
You don't just get the thing. Correct. So you get to now talk about how the Christmas gifts that you made for everyone. And
it's crazy because I started out. I don't even remember what the smallest things I made. I know one of the first things I made is I made my mom a butcher's block, which was quite a jump, for me. And since then, this last year, it gets to the point now where I'm making for everybody, and I'm like, I have to think. So this last year, I went with shelves. I made everyone a shelf. Yeah. Well, I tried to make everyone a shelf. My mom had a shelf with rope and it's sort of hanging. I made my brother a shelf to put his Xbox stuff on. I made my sister a massive shelf with chains and stuff. Yeah. when you see the product that comes out, and I'm not boasting on myself, it's not, I mean, half the time I'm like, I don't know if that's even right. I know you must put that side against the wall because that side's not so sand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are blown away, and people are blown away. My sister's friends that saw the stuff up in her house were like, where did you buy this? It's like Weatherby's or whatever.
Yeah. It's like no, quality stuff.
My wood made this for me.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a recycled wood place probably a kilometre from us.
Yeah, that's a beautiful place. That's actually where I do buy some of the wood from there. Yeah. When I want, like my sister's stuff, I went and bought wood from there.
And it's so lucky because they oftentimes have these real thick pieces of wood or something that is just laying there.
Yeah.
It's got character. It's got the stamps on it.
Yeah,
different numbers. It's so cool. And we went when we needed shelves in our house. Yes. We literally went there, bought. I think the wood cost us a total of like 400 rand.
Yeah.
We bought brackets for another 150 or 200 rand or something like that, and we put it in ourselves.
Yeah. On that note, something that actually I thought of now. Yeah. One of the things I like to do as one, I know it's part of why I did that wood with the shelves. Why I used the pallet wood and stuff. I want to. Something my dad actually used to do not back in the day, but a while ago. He used to make something out of nothing, kind of thing. So when I want to make something, I want to do it out of nothing. I don't want to, and I'm not being cheap, guys. I'm happy to buy wood if I need to. I mean, I did a project for the church. I bought all those wooden boxes. I don't know those ones. We bought the wood. It wasn't the case of begged it off people. Yeah. But for instance, like I wanted to make a lamp the one day, and I liked the idea of. Or I had a broken camera tripod, so I made it into a lamp. Loved it. So that was one of the year's Christmas presents. It wasn't woodwork. It was these lamps. And I mean, I want to make something out of something that might be broken, or I don't want to
repurpose something.
Yeah, I want to repurpose. That's exactly it. I love the idea. I love the idea of these shows like I don't know what it's called now, but in America where they go to the collectors and they buy old stuff and then they turn it into a nice sign or they change it into this. Or, I think it's brilliant. Like I'm not an inventor. I'm not going to make a hat that flies or you know what I mean. I'm not like that at all. But I love to go, okay, this table was X, Y, and Z. Well, let's take this top off, change it to this, make a shelf out of it or whatever it might be. Yeah. I think that sustainability or that being able to supply your need and work hard. You know, we said by the sweat of your brow you will eat. And in 2 Thessalonians it says something about how if a man doesn't work, he won't eat. Yes. That's something that people miss. I think they think that means that they're going to go 8 to 5. Yeah. No, it means you've got to work. Yeah. Whatever you do.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. If I did, I'll just cut it out. But the story of the guy fishing. Yes. If you know about it, just humor me. But I think it's such an important principle.
100%.
Is that there was a guy sitting next to the lake fishing for his family. He was just fishing for his daily catch. And a businessman came and sat next to him and he said, maybe you should, instead of eating all the fish, just maybe sell some of the fish and buy another rod so you can catch more. And then eventually you can maybe buy a little boat and then you can hire someone and then you can buy or catch more fish and sell more fish and buy more boats and eventually you can have this whole enterprise. And the guy who was sitting there looked at the businessman and said, and then what? And then the businessman said, well, then you go and, you sit next to the lake and you fish. And he says, well, I'm already doing that. Makes sense. So oftentimes, and I think, I also mentioned that Richie Rich still said that it's much more comfortable crying in my BM than on my bicycle. Money doesn't buy happiness type of thing. But you have to understand that when you have your BM, what did you pay? What did you sacrifice to get that? Because it might be a really nice car and it might be really awesome. But you paid the years where you could have had other experiences. You paid the years where you could have spent time with your family. There's so many things that you sacrifice for that, and that's fine. If that's for you, 100%. God bless you. Personally, I want to spend. I got married to spend time with my wife. I want to work from home. I want to be able to do that. Now that we have a kid on the way, I want to be able to be a part of their lives. I don't want to just see them 2-3 hours a day.
Exactly.
That's just, I suppose, because I'm a family person.
Yes.
That type of orientation. So that's what I want. Yeah. And if that means that I don't ever get to drive the R1 million or R2 million car, I'm fine with that. I can sacrifice that to get the family.
Exactly. I was thinking, last week's post we talked about 4x4 wing and so on and so forth. And I was thinking, looking at those cars that on the picture that went out in the week before the post went out. Those cars that my brother he was the first one to have it and someone else had it afterwards or whatever the story might be. But I was thinking about the fun we had in those cars, and I was talking to my mom as well, saying we were having coffee before work one morning, and I was saying how I personally feel like I would much rather keep my little car that I'm driving around town and save up or get a little loan or whatever and buy another one of those 30,000-40,000 rand 4x4s, that are, I mean, they're
really great.
They were great, and have that to drive and actually go in 4x4, as opposed to going out and saying, okay, cool, my car's payments are done now, I'm going to trade it in and going to get myself a great big much newer 4x4, which is an amazing vehicle. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can't compare the comfortable
4x4 capabilities, the comfort while doing it.
Am I going to push that to the bush? When we went hunting the other day, we went on a hunting trip, and just a quick one, and the story was that we could use his bucky, and we could drive quite close and whatever the story was, and it didn't work out. And the main reason it didn't work out was because it was quite overgrown, and we would scratch the daylights out of his bucky. And I mean, I would be the same thing. I was driving, and I always felt bad.
And I don't even have like a top of the range bucky. It's a work bucky.
Yeah.
It's supposed to go through bush and stuff like that.
But I was driving his bucky, and I'm like, I feel terrible because as I'm driving, I can There's got to be a point where I stop. Whereas I know in those other vehicles I wouldn't stop.
You don't care. If you're in like a 40,000 rand gallon vehicle or whatever.
Exactly. And I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Like an open Land Rover would be something like that. But the thing is that the cost I'm paying to drive the newer vehicle means I can't do those experiences. I can't yes, it's going to probably break down, and if we had an open vehicle, it might have been quite a chilly ride to get to that farm. But that's the kind of thing. And for me, I don't push my style of life in terms of where I work these many jobs, and I work long hours, and I do these things, and I don't have it doesn't bring in a lot of money, but it keeps me, I'm comfortable. I really am. I'm not, I'm not struggling and anything like that. But I don't push it on anyone. If you want to work 8 to 5, as I said before, as I said earlier on, go for it. There's a lot of blessing in 8 to 5. There's a lot of blessing in that continuous working for 50 years and getting your pension and being able to travel the world.
Yes, 100%.
But for me, I didn't want to be tied in that life. I want to be able to, in the afternoons, if a drum lesson cancels, I can pop into here and go visit. I can go. I don't know about fishing. Go for a hike. I can get time off easily on a Friday to go hunting because I don't, or whatever it might be.
You're not that strict. You're not restricted. You've got the freedom to do stuff. And
it takes a lot of planning. We've said it. A lot of hard work. It really does. But it takes a lot of planning. That lifestyle that you're saying takes a lot of planning because you've got a plan that if there's not a lot of orders coming in, there's still money. You can't rely on that. I mean, under COVID, I couldn't do my drum lessons, and that's a knock. That was a big knock on my income. But I have controlled that. I planned for that kind of thing. So I know. And then as soon as we start again, I know that it's not my sole income. So when there's nothing that I'm done,
then at least you've got other things to do. And,
Exactly. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of planning to do that. In a good way, because the benefit for me is so much better. I'm so much happier,
and that's the thing. I mean, you mentioned something earlier about you had some free time in the evening, and you started delivering pizza, or you asked God what else can I do, and God opened the door to deliver pizzas and stuff like that, and there's such a hidden gem of a principle in that is that you go to God and ask 100%. Him what does He have for you,
100%.
Because when you walk in what God has for you, there'll always be provision.
Correct.
And that's an awesome exercise that you can do yourself, or you and your wife, or you and your husband, or whoever. You can go and sit and go through. I mean, me and Amy, we went now in the week. We went and we just spoke about different things. How do you feel about the house that we live in? The area that we live in. Do you feel that God is in it, or that God is not in it?
100%.
How do you feel about the candle business? How do you feel about the wedding business? How do you feel about me hunting so much? How do you feel about fishing? And there's all these different things, and we ask, do we think God is part of it? If He is, then yes, stay in it, and You will provide for it. If you feel, listen, okay, I actually feel God laying on my heart, I need to stay away from that, or steer away, whatever, or I need to not enter into this business or into that, whatever, then steer away from it. And sometimes it's a bit difficult, it'll take discipline and things, but the point is, when you have a close relationship with God,
100%.
and you're walking in what He has for you,
100%.
you will have everything that you need. And that goes for money as well, because God, I mean, I know trading, I know the stock market, I've done research and stuff for that a little bit, and the thing is that if you let's say this, if you know for a week what the stock market is going to do, you will make trillions of dollars in a week. So if God wants to get money into your pocket, he'll do it. Well, it's so quick.
You know, on that point, exactly that. You know, the other thing that, you know, and I know people do this. People do go, you know, pizza delivery. Well, that's a menial job. That's you know what I mean? Oh, you know, you really have to go. You don't understand that I absolutely love that job.
Yeah.
Because it involved something that I absolutely love. Or two things. It involved cars and driving, which I love.
Yeah.
I'm
and it
all
involves
for driving.
People,
People, for sure. And it wasn't. I wasn't stuck in you know. I tried waitering. I did it for a month and didn't. It didn't.
It was not God's plan.
It was not God's plan for my life. But the pizza delivery was a great. I loved it. Yes, there were nights that were terrible. Of course, there were nights where clients were difficult. There were nights when we got a friend, a visitor,
a little buddy joining us.
And then, so there were difficult times.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely. I think. It's because we asked God. He gave me something that benefited me because I made a lot more money than the other drivers were making.
100%.
And there's no reason for it per se.
Yeah.
We're doing the same job.
Yeah.
But He provided that space when I said to Him, Lord, I need to make some extra money. How does this work? What can I do? Whatever. And my brother had done it for. I think my brother done it before me. I can't remember whether I did it first or he did it. But so it wasn't like I just randomly went. He try this.
Yeah.
And I did it for 3 years or 4 years, you know. I loved it because I got to drive, I got to pump my music, I got to do, you know, Friday nights in summertime was great. The windows were down, the car was going, you know.
Yeah, it's fun. You're driving all over town.
You know.
And that's one thing you mentioned now. You did it for like 4 years.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you work for yourself, you're not limited to doing something for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
You can, like, if I in 5 or 6 years from now decide, okay, well, I want to sell my candle business or I want to close
100%.
it down and do something else.
100%.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know. Do that.
Yeah.
Do whatever. And it's not that we need to get out of this idea of building this empire of a candle business or building this empire
of anything.
No, don't. Whatever. Have a small thing. Make enough money.
Yeah.
If you wanna, if you feel that God is laying it on your heart to make lots and lots of money for the kingdom and stuff like that, which I 100% agree with.
Yes.
There were some guys, some very very rich people who have been super criticized because they're Christians and why do they have so much money and it's not necessary. But when the popo hit the fan now with like Iraq and there were people that were stranded and those people gave their jets to go and fly people in and out. And that helped a lot. You know, there's certain things that people can't really do without money and resources and stuff. And if you feel like one of those people that God is training you up,
for that.
spend time with Him and do what He tells you to do. Because the business ideas and the business direction and stuff that He gives you is
I think. I don't think even in your life with your family and your whatever. I think. Setting up your life or setting your goals, like you said, you and Amy sat and you went through these things or whatever. I think we have to go to God first because everyone is trying to build an empire. Everyone's trying to build this, to buy and do this. We're missing the point. We've got to go to God because His plan. And I know we're both pastors, and so we, you know, some people say, but you say that because you're a pastor. No, let me explain something to you. That's not the point. You can take it away. You can take the fact that we're pastors away. What the Word says is you go to God. And He will provide. It says the cattle of 1,000 hills belong to Him. You know. He will provide that.
I think in Deuteronomy it says that it is God who gives a man the power to make wealth.
Correct. If we're trying to build an empire out of something that we're not happy with because it's not what God wants, it's not going to work. You know, we're going to spend 20 or 30 years suffering and to build this empire and it falls apart.
And well, best case scenario, you're successful, but you're not in God's plan. And let's say you are saved, you get into heaven, and you realize that your whole life here on earth was a waste, and you never did what God wanted. Because that's the reality that I always say.
Even if you get to 70, let's say you retired 70, you realize you've worked really hard for what?
And that's the reality that you said now that we're pastors and people might be like, okay, well, you're a pastor, so you have to preach, whatever. At the end of the day, whether you're an atheist, whether you are a whatever Christian, whether you're a devoted businessman, or it doesn't matter what you are. At the end of the day, we are all going to go to heaven or hell. We are going to die and we are going to go somewhere and we are going to be like judged for our things. And luckily, if you're a Christian, all those bad things that were supposed to send you to the hot place are going to be like, it's going to have that signature on it with Jesus' blood and says paid. It's all sorted. We don't get judged for the sins. We get almost judged for for what we've done, our
Exactly.
success. We get rewarded for our successes in walking in God's plan, and that's something that I think we sometimes misunderstand. That earthly success oftentimes is completely irrelevant to what God's plan is for your life. Whether you're a rich, if you're walking in God's plan, you can be a rich businessman or you could be poor, and it's like irrelevant to Him as long as you're doing what He wants you to do.
That's my thing. It will be irrelevant to your life.
Yeah.
Because God will not. A God who sent His Son to die for us will not put us in a place of business that we don't like and we have to work for no reason.
Yeah.
That's what I say. He gave me the job of literally because He knew I would like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's nice of Him.
Exactly.
Like he could put you in a place where it's like
exactly.
not lacquer, you know?
Exactly. And I mean, yes, you can in that situation you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Look, there's always consequences, and we've always got decisions. So there we go. Let's say I'm pizza delivery because God sent me to that job, or for example, making these shelves of mine. There's a good profit on that.
Yeah.
Okay, there really is it's hard work, but there's a good profit on it.
Yeah.
Now I could do that for a living.
Yeah.
As long as I manage that profit properly,
Yeah.
the way God would want me to, I could be very wealthy.
Yeah.
You know.
It could grow into whatever.
It could go into
you want,
whatever.
yeah.
Exactly. The drum lessons are the same. You know.
Yeah.
I don't have enough time to do that.
But it's almost like these little things. Like God put you in the center where you guys are at to be an influence to those kids and to be an
100%.
influence and the support structure to the whole system and
Yeah.
everything. And that's like where He wants you to be. And the rest is almost like He'll humor you and He'll bless you. Like, okay, cool. Like you have some free time on your hands. Okay, you can start drum lessons.
Yeah.
You have some of this. Okay, do that. You know, and He loves us and He wants to be a part of our lives.
And He makes that work at the center easier.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm easier. Or not the work at the center. Let's take the center. My lifestyle.
Yeah.
I decide I want a new car. I need to put some. I want to spend more money per month than I'm spending now because I want to get a bucky.
Yeah.
That's where the money comes from.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't go to my budget that I have for my salary from working in the center and go, okay, now I'm no longer eating this and this and this. You know, I can't have steak.
Let's
I
eat
can't
toast.
have this. I'm eating toasted or noodles for the rest of the month because every month I want to buy this car.
Yeah.
You know, He goes, yeah, that's great. That's your bill. That's your rent. That's your whatever paid. He has the money for your car.
Yeah. And He'll give you something
somebody
extra.
called.
Yeah. He'll open up another stream of income for what you need. And that's again,
Exactly.
I'm gonna keep sounding like a broken record. You need to be in God's will because
Correct.
when you're in God's will, there's never lack. There's
Because
never
God
lack.
wants the best for us. He says, what man whose child is hungry would ask for bread, give him a stone?
Yeah, yeah.
He wouldn't do
and
that.
how much more? I love that verse. I think it's Matthew 7:11 where He says, "If you who are evil know how to give good gifts,
Exactly.
how much more your Father in heaven?"
100%.
He wants to really, He wants to bless us.
Exactly.
And we need to just be in line with Him because it also says, I think it's in John 5 or John 15 or one other. It's in John where it says that I'm in you, when you are in me and I'm in you, you will pray and you will get whatever you pray for. And that's because you are in His will.
Yes.
You are asking things according to His will. You're not like James where it says that you don't have because you don't ask. And even when you do ask, you ask wrong.
Yeah.
Or you don't have because you ask wrong. Because it's a selfish motive and it's a selfish driven thing and stuff.
And we touched on this as well in I think it was episode 2 where we said, does God want us to be rich? You know.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
He wants you to be comfortable and in His will.
Well, the thing is,
if you're in His will, you'll be comfortable. You will be. You will feel as rich as you will fulfill that need to feel rich. Put it this way, because you're doing what He wants you to do.
100%.
You know.
He doesn't. It's like
I don't feel every night when I go to bed, I'm really struggling, or I feel fulfilled. I feel like
you feel like peace.
It's a great day. I might have a headache because I've had 4 drum lessons in a row and it's loud, you know. Yeah. But I feel at peace because I'm in His will for my life, you know. And that's a key, I think, in business, in life in general. And I've said this before as well. You know, I can't take away the Christian side of me. I can't. It's who I am. It's part of who we are. I go to God, He will provide those things. Simple, you know. In business, we've got to go to God. Even if you're working in your job, you know, answering a phone somewhere, whatever. If you can go to God and then He can give you that perspective for that job, I promise you, it will change.
He'll put you in a place that will fulfill you. No matter what
It'll change your exactly.
And that peace and that joy and fulfillment that you have there, we short sell it. Like so for nothing. Exactly. There are people literally in this world spending billions of dollars to try and get that piece. They buy islands, they buy jets, they buy everything to fill that void.
Yes, correct.
And it's just not enough. It's never enough. You know, and that's why people find themselves in messes where, you know, it's drugs or it's alcohol or it's some other issue or because they have this void. And I can tell you now that same person, if they were in God's plan for their life, they could have very minimal things. They could fit everything into 2 suitcases and they would be happy.
Exactly.
And not even $1 billion could buy that piece.
Correct.
So
and that's the sense. And I think we've been talking about business today and talking about how, you know, things are done and whatnot. I think if you can get that attitude, your business will be a success.
Yeah, 100%.
And what makes it a success? 25 million units sold a year? No. That fulfillment in you makes it a success. You know, the fact that I don't make those crosses and stuff every day. I'm not doing that. It's kind of, I try to keep it as a holiday project and those kind of things. But when I do it, they all sell. Yeah. And I don't even advertise it. Yeah. Like you said, I didn't advertise it. I didn't advertise a single one of them. 100%. I didn't put it on second-hand marketplace. And I thought of doing that. And I felt God said to me, no. Yeah. You make it and I'll provide. You know.
100%.
Those things fulfilled the need I needed at the time. You know.
Yeah, it's so funny. I mean, we've got a small marketing budget for Earth Candles every month, and we do Facebook posts and ads and those, things like that. And I'll tell you what, if it's like we do what we can, but God sends the customers, because so oftentimes we'll do marketing for a whole month and nothing will come from it, and we'll get a whole bunch of returning customers that month that will cover more than the bills. Yeah. And then the next month, we won't do anything because now it's like the marketing budget is smaller or something. Yeah. And all those people that saw it last month, now they come and buy. Or I don't know.
You know, we've never really advertised our centre. Yeah. You know, we don't want to be a 500 people centre, or we want God to send us children that are in need, children that have special needs that need to be helped. And I mean, I'm not talking, when I say special needs, please don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the extreme, right down to a reading disability. Yeah. You know? That is a need. If you can't read or you can't speak English, you can't read the bank machine to take your money out. Yeah. So it makes no difference, you know. If your maths isn't good, you can't work it out, you don't realize that somebody is stealing from you.
Yeah,
you know?
That's not a good thing.
No, exactly. So it's not that it's only children in wheelchairs and stuff like that, or that kind of thing. God brings that child to us. Yeah. If it's for a period, if it's for 1 year, if it's to get them back on track so they can get because of something that happened in their life. Yeah. You know, He provides that. We've never run short of students, you know, which is our clients, if I can put it that way, because God provided that, you know. Yeah. But you've got to be willing to do the work. Yeah, 100%. Put the hours in. Go to work at 6:30 every morning. Yeah. Sit there till 3 o'clock. Take the students home, whatever it might be. Put the effort in. Yeah. You know, make the candles, sand them, make the wood, whatever it might be. A quick story, I know of a guy, and that's why I asked about the knives. I know of a guy, he's actually a bit of a mentor at one stage, and he's a bit older than us as well. And he finished school, he finished varsity, I'm not sure what he studied, I think business of some sort. Anyway, he went to go work. He worked for VW for a couple of years, did well. Went and he ended up working at a earth moving company in town, and started working there and started saving up and bought his own equipment, and eventually left them and went there. And then that company was running, and he got into the hobby of making knives. Yeah. And now he does that full time. Yeah. You know, that business runs. You know, it covers its costs. It does things. It brings in a bit of income for him. He makes knives. He's doing something that he loves, and he's making money out of it. And I'm talking about like. He's not necessarily selling to the local market. He probably, I'm sure he is, but not my local budget.
Probably exporting them,
Not my budget, you know. Yeah. And he's as happy as Larry, you know. He put the effort in. Yeah. He went to work when he was 20 something. He didn't decide then to start this thing and do one knife a month and then go. I don't know why I'm not. You know, he went to VW. He put the hours in, did that stuff after hours. He learned how to do it when he was working with running his own business. He was doing this on a Saturday. You know, putting the hours in, putting the effort in. You've put the effort in with the candles.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yes, there were lots of times when I said to Amy, "I'm just going to kill this thing," and she's like, "No, it's good," and that's amazing. I mean, a godly wife. The Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and favor with the Lord. For some unknown reason, favor is not fair, but thank God we have it. You know, He has sent me a good wife that hears His voice as well. Yeah. And if there's certain things that He has a plan for us, without her sometimes even knowing it, she'll pick up on it and she'll motivate me
Correct.
to stay in a direction even when I'm feeling down. And,
or even a support system. I mean, I'm not married, so I haven't found a wife yet. I haven't found that good thing
not yet. Soon,
but but I've got a good support system. My family, who I work with in all the different things. When my dad lends me tools to do the stuff, he showed me stuff. I struggle. I go, Dad, and he, you know, I fight with him because he always wants to teach me something. I'm like, stop teaching me. You know? But then when I don't know, I phone him. You know. Doing this podcast, I get time off to go and do the podcast. I get time. You know, that support system is important. I think.
Definitely.
You know, doing it on your own is one thing. But
you have to have people that you can bounce ideas off of, because sometimes remember, like I always say, emotions are the dust of life. So when there's a lot of emotions around a situation, you can't see clearly because there's so much dust in the air. Sometimes you just got to sit, chill for a second, let the dust settle, let your emotions subside for a second, and then you can make a clear decision. And if you have to make a time-sensitive issue while the dust is all in the air, go to people that you trust, family members, support structure, and ask them, because they'll give you the insight to carry on making the right decision. They'll be your GPS, even though you don't know where the road is going. They'll tell you it's going this direction. Or, you know,
and hopefully in that you'll have someone who will be willing to tell the truth.
Yes,
you know?
100%.
If you don't, go and find one of those people. You're going to say, listen, that's a wonderful idea, but it's a lot of work, or it's not going to work, or the market is saturated, or
they must give you an objective view of everything.
Or that's a bad decision. It's a bad decision to go from a 2,000 rand a month car in the moment where we have COVID, for like my example, to a 4,000 rand a month car. You know,
it's not the best financial decision, and the benefit won't be worth it.
Exactly. You're going to put your strain on yourself in all aspects of your life, but especially in work. You know, wait for that. You know, it will come, or you know, it's worth that.
So I think in wrapping it up, I think the importance of being self-sustaining and having godly business and all this all comes down to walking in what God has for your life.
100%.
And I think that's like the most important thing that I want to have on. Like just be with Him.
Exactly.
Find out what His plan is for you. And if you don't know, ask people, you know, praying people and stuff to pray with you. Speak to them.
I don't want to say I 100% guarantee, but I almost guarantee that He's either already shown you something or He's given you a taste of what that is. We don't, you know, our earthly desires and whatever, you know, that dying to self thing again stopped us from seeing that, you know. So there will be someone around you, as you said, go to someone who can say to you, well, maybe it's because what you're trying to do is this and this, you know, because you're not doing this and this, you know. I don't know.
No, definitely, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's important. We have to work, we have to eat, thanks to the sin that's entered the world many moons ago. But that doesn't mean it has to be the end of the world. Doesn't mean it has to be this depressed, horrible thing. And there goes the dog.
There goes the dog.
So we can end there.
On that note, God bless you guys. Thank you.
Cool. Really? Really?